Hi everyone, it's Ryan with SacramentoAppraisalBlog.com, and today I wanted to go over what a median sales price is and really why the real estate community and even homeowners should be careful about putting too much weight on the median sales price. Okay, I know this isn't a very sexy topic, but it's actually really relevant because people make decisions in real estate, decisions to refinance or sell based on what is read in the newspaper, for instance. If the newspaper article says median price levels have gone up by 20% over the past year, then a homeowner might read that and think, great, my home is worth 20% more. But that's not necessarily the case. Okay, so let's dive into this. What is a median price? It's very easy. Imagine lining up 100 properties. The median price is simply the one in the middle. Okay, or for instance, in Sacramento County, the median sales price is 203,000 right now. That essentially means that half the sales in all of Sacramento County have been under 203,000, and then the other half are above 203,000. So that the median price, the one in the middle, is 203. So it can be a helpful metric to decipher the market over time, but there are some real pitfalls when we rely too much on median sales price levels. Let me touch on four quickly. Number one, inventory. The median price is based on the number of recent sales. And in short, if there aren't very many recent sales, particularly if you're looking at the median sales price for a smaller neighborhood, then it's really not a very strong metric. Okay, less data, less strength. That's really how it works. And so you have to be careful of that when there's low inventory with giving too much weight to median price. Secondly, size. If there are more smaller size, less expensive homes that sold recently, then the median sales price will naturally be lower. Okay, but on the other hand, if there's a greater number of larger and more expensive homes, then the median sales price could be higher. All right, so the median sales price ultimately it's strongly influenced by what type of properties have sold in a neighborhood. Okay, that's really, really important to see. And if you didn't know that there were less sales happening at the lower end of the market, or more sales at the higher end of the market, then what you might see, you might actually misinterpret the market. Okay, it's really easy to do if you don't really know much about the properties that are sold. Okay, thirdly, this is really big. It's important to consider the big market versus sub-market. Okay, median sales price levels for a county or for a city may not necessarily apply to every neighborhood, and that's an unfortunate mistake I think that sometimes I see homeowners make, who I go out to their properties to appraise it, and they say, this is great, I read in the newspaper about the median sales price levels coming up, and I'm thinking, boy, this is unfortunate. I don't say this out loud because my clients want me to not be having these conversations, but I'm just thinking, value's really not there. Okay, because sometimes in the big market, for instance, I appraised a property in Woodland recently around the $500,000 level, which is really getting up there for Woodland. It's towards the top of the market. Those properties right now, in my opinion, they've been more stable than anything. They're not experiencing the same dynamic as under 200,000 market in Woodland. Properties have been on fire, and yes, properties have been increasing in value, but other tiers of the market, sub-markets, niches, they're not going to experience the same thing. So it's really dangerous to apply a county-wide or a city-wide metric on a particular neighborhood when the market just may be seeing that neighborhood or that type of property differently. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. And lastly, layers of value. It's really important to know what is shaping the median sales price in a community. It's important to know that in a neighborhood and in a county-wide also. And when you look at Sacramento County, for instance, there have been 20% less foreclosures over the course of the year. And a lot of the foreclosures were concentrated under $200,000. And so when you think about that, if you take out 20% of the foreclosures, that's going to naturally boost up the market. The median sales price is definitely going to be higher just because of that alone. But on top of that, there have been 53% of all sales under $200,000 for single family sales. 53% of those sales have been cash purchases. So the market is saturated with investors. There's a lot of investors who have bought low earlier in the year, and then they flip these properties and sell them at higher levels. And so you have a lot less foreclosures, low inventory, And you also have higher sales naturally because properties are being flipped and they're pristine now. And so that's going to influence the median sales price. And what that's going to do is it's going to cause a boost. And so it's really, really important to look at that. And so when you read in the paper a countywide stat, you got to realize the countywide stat is padded to a certain degree, and it really might not apply to your particular neighborhood. I would say talk with an appraiser, talk to an experienced local realtor maybe about your property. The last thing I want to say is if you're looking for um, valuation help and you really want an accurate valuation and you're going to do your own legwork, then I would say this: keep it in context. Okay, look at sales that are similar to yours, and these would be properties that are fairly similar in size, similar in location, and basically something that resembles your property pretty well, that's comparable. Okay, we call those comps. And look at the sales price, maybe the price per square foot for those properties, and also look at the sales price for those properties among recent sales, because that's going to give you the best idea of the value of your own home, rather than looking at a countywide metric that really may or may not apply to your own neighborhood. And rather than looking at other houses in the neighborhood, smaller houses might have a much different price per square foot. Larger houses, same thing. And so, really, compare like to like. That's how it basically works. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. 916-595-3735, or you can catch me at sacramentoappraisalblog.com. Hey, thanks everyone.